the world's most infamous vampires. Shocking truths about Vlad the Impaler. Did you know that history's most notorious figures have more secrets hiding beneath their surface than you can imagine? From Vlad the Impaler to Elizabeth Bathory, these monsters of the past had their own dark agendas, desires, and hidden motives. And some of them are far more sinister than you ever could have imagined. So brace yourself for an unforgettable journey back in time as we uncover the hidden agendas of history as most infamous figures. Vlad the Impaler, the third son of Vlad II and Princess Anna of Wallachia, was born in Transylvania in 1431. At this point, his father was serving as a military commander in the Ottoman Empire, and his mother had been sent back to Transylvania to rule as regent in his absence. After being sent to Poland as a diplomatic hostage at the age of 12, Vlad returned to Transylvania and took the throne at the age of 24 after his brother's death. Despite his noble lineage, Vlad was not destined for greatness, and his reign was marked by a series of unfortunate events that led him down a path of infamy. Throughout his life, Vlad's ambitions were limited by the fact that he was the third-born son. The laws of primogeniture favored his older brother, who was groomed to inherit the throne from their father. However, when their father died, Vlad's brother perished in mysterious circumstances, leaving Vlad to inherit the crown instead. Despite his good fortune, Vlad's path to power was fraught with obstacles, including internal strife, foreign invasions, and a devastating famine that plagued his territory. Vlad's cunning and ruthless nature allowed him to overcome these challenges and secure his position as ruler of Transylvania. He established alliances with powerful European nobles and formed a formidable army that helped him repel invading forces. However, his methods of achieving power were often brutal and violent, earning him the nickname Vlad the Impaler, due to his habit of impaling his enemies. As he rose through the ranks of Transylvanian nobility, rumors began to spread about his blood-sucking habits. Some claimed he dipped his bread in blood during communion, while others alleged he forced villagers to drink his blood or smeared it on their faces. These rumors likely stemmed from Vlad's aristocratic arrogance and his insistence on drinking from golden goblets, a luxury item at the time. However, the sensationalist accounts of foreign observers and Vlad's opponents contributed to the growing legend of the blood-sucking vampire. Countess Elizabeth Bathory, also known as the Blood Countess, was a Hungarian noblewoman who lived in the late 16th and early 17th centuries. She is infamous for her alleged involvement in the torture and murder of hundreds of young women, many of whom were peasant girls whom she lured to her castle under false pretenses. While there is no evidence that Bathory dipped her bread in blood or forced her victims to drink her blood, her crimes were equally heinous. The exact number of Bathory's victims remains unknown, but estimates range from 300 to over 600. Her sadistic behavior was well documented by her contemporaries, including her physician, who allegedly assisted her in carrying out her horrific rituals. Although Bathory avoided prosecution for her crimes, possibly due to her social status, she became known as the Blood Countess, due to the rumors that she bathed in the blood of her victims in an attempt to maintain her youth and beauty. Despite the gruesome nature of her crimes, Bathory was celebrated as a folk hero by some Hungarians, who saw her as a symbol of resistance against the aristocracy. This image was perpetuated in literature, art, and film throughout the centuries, culminating in the modern conception of the seductive yet sinister female. Vlad the Impaler's influence extended beyond his own territory, and he played a significant role in shaping the political landscape of Eastern Europe. In 1456, he led a coalition of Christian princes to victory against the Ottoman Turks at the Battle of Kut, a crucial moment in the struggle between the two empires. However, Vlad's ambitions did not end at the borders of his own domain. He sought to expand his power and influence through marriage alliances and military campaigns, which brought him into conflict with his neighbors. Vlad's aggressive foreign policy included a campaign against the Principality of Wallachia in 1459, which resulted in his capture and imprisonment by the Ottomans. During his captivity, Vlad was subjected to brutal treatment and forced to witness horrific acts of violence, which may have contributed to his growing paranoia and brutality upon his release. Despite facing opposition from his own people, Vlad went on to launch a brutal campaign against the city of Cahul, massacring its inhabitants and adding to his reputation as a ruthless ruler. Elizabeth Bathory's alleged rituals were likely a product of her distorted beliefs and desires for power and control. Born into a wealthy and influential family, Bathory had access to the finest education and luxuries that 16th century Hungary had to offer. However, she became increasingly disillusioned with the limitations placed on women at the time and sought to break free from societal constraints. Many historians believe that Bathory's sadistic behavior was a manifestation of her desire for ultimate power and control. By torturing and murdering young women, Bathory believed she could assert her dominance over those weaker than her and gain a sense of perverse satisfaction. Furthermore, her choice of victims, young peasant girls, may have been influenced by her own traumatic experiences with sexual assault and exploitation in her youth. In an effort to protect herself and other women from harm, Bathory developed a twisted sense of justice that involved punishing those who violated her sense of morality. While there is no concrete evidence to support this theory, it offers a possible explanation for the disturbing motivations behind the Blood Countess's actions. Vlad the Impaler's reign was marked by a series of brutal and controversial policies that left a lasting impact on his subjects. One of his most notorious acts was the introduction of heavy taxes and forced labor, which aimed to extract wealth from the peasantry and fund his military campaigns. While taxation was not uncommon among rulers of the time, Vlad's methods were particularly harsh and oppressive, leading to widespread resentment among the population. Additionally, Vlad's decision to participate in the Italian wars on the side of the Holy League against the Ottoman Empire caused further hardship for his subjects. As Vlad's army fought in distant lands, his rule became increasingly unstable, and the threat of invasion loomed over Transylvania. To defend his territory, Vlad implemented a system of conscription, which forced able-bodied men to serve in the military. This practice not only drained the Transylvanian treasury, but also left the countryside vulnerable to attack and contributed to the rise of banditry and lawlessness. Bathory's crimes came to light in 1610 when one of her servants, Alona Darvashi, confessed to the local priest that she had witnessed the Blood Countess murdering young girl. Despite the damning evidence, Bathory managed to avoid prosecution, likely due to her noble status and the reluctance of authorities to investigate a member of the upper class. Over the years, rumors of her blood-soaked rituals continued to circulate, but it wasn't until 1630 that a formal investigation was launched by the Hungarian government. However, by this time, Bathory had already fled her castle, and the case against her was based largely on the testimony of former servants and villagers, who had fallen victim to her sadistic games. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, Bathory was charged with the murders and convicted in absentia. A nobleman was ordered to seize her property and turn it over to the state, but Bathory remained at large for the rest of her life. The brutality of Vlad the Impaler's regime ultimately led to his downfall. In 1476, a coalition of Polish, Bohemian and Hungarian nobles invaded Transylvania and deposed Vlad, ending his reign of terror. Despite his reputation as a monster, Vlad's legacy has been romanticized and mythologized over the centuries. His supporters viewed him as a national hero and martyr who sacrificed himself for the greater good of Transylvania. However, Vlad's true impact on history is more complex and nuanced than popular culture would have us believe. While his record as a ruler was undeniably brutal and oppressive, he also played a significant role in shaping the political landscape of Eastern Europe during a time of great upheaval and change. As we continue to explore the hidden agendas of history's most infamous figures, it is important to remember that they were all complex individuals with their own motivations and desires. While some may be remembered as monsters, they were often products of their environment and the circumstances that shaped their lives. The life and times of Elizabeth Bathory offer a fascinating glimpse into the social and cultural norms of 16th century Hungary and the challenges faced by women in a patriarchal society. Despite the gruesome nature of her crimes, Bathory's story has resonated with audiences for centuries and continues to inspire horror and fascination today. Thank you for joining us on this journey back in time to uncover the shocking truth about history's most infamous vampires. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more entertaining and educational content. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world around you.